Alright, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone who rule well. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect. This is your brother, Ahmad Bayan, coming to you with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash. Alright, another quick one here, basically highlighting more stuff that basically took place in Colombia there, where this lady did some diligent search to check up on some balloons that was apparently flying around the area there, around the same time with the earthquake, right? And remember, we know that Esau has his haarp machine and whatnot, which they claim is only radio frequencies that they're playing around with, but you can't let anything just pass here when this devil speak. When this devil speak, when he tells a lie, he speaks it of his own, because he is really just the father of it. Alright, he's known to lie a lot. Alright, so all this that took place here, this magnitude 7.4 earthquake that took place in Colombia, Ecuador, it hit also and it also affect Panama, right? And you see the places that it really touch, right? El Cairo, and the other one is Valle del Colca. I don't speak no Spanish and things, so this was my little attempt, right? So but these places, when I check up on it, these places is two of the top drug places that they smuggle drugs and so forth. And Esau was basically flying around in this part, which we're going to hear now. So let's take a look at what the lady had to say here, and we're going to get into it.
I have really tried to behave with this Colombia earthquake, but what did I just find?
¡Ay, qué fierro! ¿Qué es esa verga?
Little orb, a star, weather balloon. Then I remembered, and you may remember, when I tracked the H-bells last year.
I don't understand how nobody's talking about this, but there is a hot air balloon.
The ones that aren't your typical Roswell weather balloons. Side note, there's a company called Sky, and they make these, and they have them launch from Roswell. I'm not making this up. But back to our H-bells. These are made by Aerostar, and they're called Thunderhead stratospheric platforms. They can stay airborne for months. They can change altitude to catch different wind currents. They can carry communications, sensing payloads, operators, coordinated networks. I am not going to say spy balloons. Aerostar.
And also they call it again, the satellites and whatnot, they just be on these type of devices also, because remember, they cannot pass the firmament, right? Nothing cannot pierce and go through there, right? So it have nothing about they out there in space and all these things. They cannot reach out there. All right.
Has a serious relationship with the US military, with past exercises, kitting out thunderheads with really nifty tech. So I look up our H-bells, and lo and behold, there was one around Colombia on the day of the quake. No, there were two. I'm sorry, There were 3 Aerostar stratospheric balloons operating in the broader Western Columbia region, and one of them came less than 30 kilometers from the epicenter, less than 3 hours before the rupture happened.
Yeah, scripture here. This is the book of Luke 12 and verse 2. It says, For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Right? The Lord's eyes is 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Right? And the Lord sees everything. Okay? He sees everything. You know, and what he does also is, you know, put the spirit on some people out there to go and to do their own little investigations and whatnot. You know, the scripture talk about in these times, you know, knowledge shall increase. You know, so it have technologies, it have different apps, different things that we could use, and people could go into and, you know, scope for themselves what taking place and what not, what these devils are doing, what they up to, right? Because these devils, they believe that no one could see them, right? That is what they believe. But the Lord said differ. You know, let's go to the book of Isaiah 29. And verse 15, it says, Woe to them that seek deep to hide their counsel, and their woe to them, right? Woe means what? Destruction. That seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord Yahweh, and their works are in the dark, and they say, Who seeth us, and who knoweth us? Right? They believe that, you know, they are hiding, you know, they're so high up like an eagle, you know, no one could see them. But, you know, the spirit was on, you know, the spirit went on that person to take it and record, you know, look up and look to see what was and look to see what that was up there, you know. And it just shows you that, you know, everything is being revealed, right? Showing you who these devils are. And yet still a lot of you people are still going to trust and believe in them. You know, so they bring in the calamities and the destruction with the harp machine and whatnot. And themselves coming into your hometown, into your land. You know, and coming with weeping eyes. You know, oh my gosh, you know, what happened to the people? Let's help them. Let's help them. Let's see what we can do. But really and truly, they're looking to steal your resources. You know, they're looking to come and take you down, right? They're looking to come out to do what? To oppress you more and more. Let's jump back here.
So, I pulled the flight tracks and I analyzed them. I really analyzed them. HBAL 790 passed within 30 kilometers of that location, precisely 2 hours and 57 minutes before this 7.4 earthquake. So then I thought, do these balloons just happen to fly close to earthquakes? Nope. No, they don't. So this August the 10th one kind of stands out, which does not mean the balloons caused the earthquake. So I'm thinking, I wonder what our friends, the US military, are doing anything in the area on August 10th. Bingo! Panamax 2026. Panama hosting, Colombia co-leading the air component with the United States Southern Command. And on August 5th, this official US military photo shows American and Panamanian personnel posing with a high-altitude balloon. So Panamax is a very plausible explanation for our American not spy balloons operating around Panama and Western Colombia on August the 10th, right? Right? Can I prove these exact H-BALs were part of Panamax? No. But it seems plausible. I find the whole thing very spooky. But spooky seems to be able to be explained here. Oh, and our original orb? I think it was Venus.
Esau, boy. Esau. Let's read it over again. Let's read it in the NLT this time. This is Isaiah 29 and 15 in the NLT. It says, what sorrows awaits those who try to hide their plans from the Lord, who do their evil deeds in the dark. The Lord Yahweh can't see us, they say. Hide. It says he doesn't know what's going on, but so they think, right? But the Lord at the end of the day is controlling their minds, for them to use a harp machine and whatnot. Really and truly is the Lord, right? Now coming back here to this, you realize the magnitude 7.4 earthquake, the places that it mostly hit, right? That really got affected, how do we select it? That really got affected, right there, and right there, right? So I went up to check. There's Valle del Cacha, however you pronounce it. If it's a drug place, if it's known for drugs, this is just a screenshot I took after, AI overview said yes, the Valle del Colca, the department in Colombia, is historically and globally known for the illegal drug trade, right? And you see where they targeted. Okay, now we have another one where they call the Calro, right? It says, same question asks. It says like an major global global megacity has an underground illicit drug market, right? So you see where they attack and whatnot, right? And most of the a lot of people was deleted and so forth, which is really and truly the Lord did it, right? Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, that name is supposed to be fearing, you Israelites over there, right? Because a lot of those Colombians over there is also Israelites, right? Cubans and all those, the Venezuelans, a lot of people in the Caribbean, they are Israelites, the Lord's people. And the enemy is in tongue, looking to do what to take and super what it is he could take, Right now he is in Trinidad here trying to get a steel plant up and running, where it is he could get certain substances from the earth in Trinidad here in order for him to build his batteries and use to build his vehicles over in his side here, and this is why you must never trust the enemy, because this man is going to take what it is you have, all right, for himself. Okay, right? So understand the devil, how he operates and whatnot. Right? Let's close it off here. This is Micah 2:1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds, When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand, right? It is in the power of their hand. This is why they could do these things, right? They have the say, the only say right now, right? It says, and they covered fields and take them by violence, right? They take them by violence, send earthquakes, destroy your land, and then swoop in to play the hero and say, well, we will have to take this place, we will seize here, while we at it, let us seize here, let us take it one time, let's build up our infrastructure and build data centers, let's build 15-minute cities, let's do this, let's do that. This is how these devils think. It says, and houses, and take them away, right? So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. All right. So I will end it there. Lord willing, this lesson here was edifying to the elect of Israel. 144 on the screen, right? Our praises say Abashim Yahushai. So Lord willing, this lesson here was edifying to the elect of Israel. I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone who rule well. Peace and salutation to the hopefully. Shalom.